Not every day, every month, every year that Theresa May walks away from Brussels, David, with probably a feeling of job done.
Well, that's right. I mean, this summit was the European Council summit this week. It was billed as the Brexit summit. This was the moment when the transition agreement was due to be rubber-stamped by all the other leaders in Europe. And indeed, that happened. But I think the interesting thing was that took up about 30 seconds of the two-day meeting. And in fact, the agenda was dominated by the big geopolitical events. So the case of the alleged poisoning of the Russian spy in Britain, and of course, the trade war that's been erupting around the world between Mr. Trump and various other countries, and China particularly. So I think this is very interesting that, yes, she got the backing of the Council for a strongly worded communique about Russia, but also it shows an example here of the sorts of benefits, perhaps, you might argue, of being in the European Union, that, yes, she was able to get that, that strongly worded communique out, and also seeing how the European Union responds to Mr. Trump. Were this to be next year's March summit, of course, Mrs. May would not be invited because Britain would be exiting at the end of this month next year.
So is this as good as it comes then when it comes to leverage? Is that the suggestion?
Well, that is the interesting,
yes.
That's the interesting point, I think, and we'll probably have to wait and see. But of course, she did spend all of the dinner last night, reportedly, laying out the evidence for blaming Russia for this nerve agent attack in England. There were some sceptical countries who had to be brought on side. I think the Greeks wanted some more evidence, the Italians. But at the end of it, they all signed up, and we're waiting now for more measures to be announced. They say by Monday whether we're going to see more diplomats expelled across the European Union. Mrs. Merkel coming out with strong support. Mr. Macron also coming up with strong support. Would it be the same if Britain wasn't still a member of the EU? We're not sure, but it's an interesting question.